In the previous session, we've seen what is an organizational structure, how it is important, how it has been brought into the SAP. We've seen about what has to be conveyed to the stakeholders and the SAP's implementation team. In this lecture, we're going to see how the mapping of the business functions will happen inside the SAP system. I've given here two columns. This column represents the general terms that is denoted outside SAP. This is what we follow inside the SAP S/4HANA system. Whenever a company plans or decides to implement SAP, their functional departments, like there will be an accounting department, there will be a procurement department, there is a sales department. All these departments are called functional departments. The functional departments are converted as organizational units inside the SAP system. Adding to it, we call a company as in different terms. You can call it as an enterprise, you can call it as a corporate group or anything else like a factory, or if that is the head, you can call that way. But inside the SAP system, we call them as client. And different companies or their subsidiaries are called company codes. This point may be a bit tricky. What are different companies when we've already mentioned the enterprise name? Let us consider an example. I'll come back to that example briefly at the end as well. Let us consider a company called Philips. Philips has got many subsidiaries like Philips Lightings, Philips Electronics, so on and so forth. So those are called as subsidiaries. Under the client company called Philips, all these companies would be sub-companies. You have to note that client and company codes are two high-level organizational units in the SAP's organizational structure. You have to know some key points about the SAP's organizational structure, as the client is regarded as the highest organizational element in the SAP. A client may have one or more company codes assigned to it. A company code, in turn, can have one or more plans assigned to it. And plans, in turn, can have one or more storage locations assigned to it. Some points to be differentiated. Each company can have a set of purchasing groups. For your information, purchasing groups is nothing but a buyer or a group of buyers defined independently of an organizational structure. Purchasing groups need not come inside the organizational structure, nor it can be assigned to any purchasing organization or the company code. The screen that you see now will give you what are the general terms versus how it is carried out inside the SAP system. You can see an enterprise can be called as a client in SAP. A company can be called as a company code in SAP. A factory can be called as a plant inside SAP. A warehouse can be called as a storage location in SAP. Furthermore, I have given an organizational structure in SAP in this slide, which would tell you 3 points. One denotes financial accounting, 2 denotes sales and sales organization, 2 denotes sales and distribution, 3 denotes material management. As I told you in the previous slides, one company can have more than one company codes assigned to it. A company can have more than one plants assigned to it, but a plant cannot be assigned to more than one company code. The plant can in turn have storage locations, and the storage location can in turn have warehouses assigned to it. This is how the enterprise structure grows. We'll see more detail about what is a client, what is a company code, what is a plant, what is storage location, what are warehouses in the coming slides. Here is how an MM's organizational structure is predicted. The first hierarchy is the client, followed by company codes, followed by plants, followed by the warehouses, or what we call it as a storage location. As I told you, a client can have more than one company code assigned to it. And one or more plants can be assigned to a particular company code. A plant cannot be associated with two company codes. You can also see the storage locations are directly assigned to the plant. We'll see more in detail in the coming lectures. For now, I'll give you a clear example for what do I mean by the client and what do I mean by the company code. In here, Philips is a company that wants to implement SAP. Philips is one entity which includes all the different entities like Philips Medical, Philips Electronics, Philips Lights. Hence, all these three entities are combined together as one client. On the other hand, if Philips Medical alone wants to implement SAP, then Philips Medical will act as a client. Hope that is very clear. Also, you can have Philips Medical when it is associated with Philips as a client. It means it is called as a company code. A client may have more than one independent companies like medical, electronics, and lights. Every company listed here will have its own SAP GL account, which is general ledger account, the balance sheet, the profit and loss, etc. What is a plant? A plant is nothing but a manufacturing unit. In SAP, a manufacturing unit, a sales office, a corporation head office, a maintenance plant can be called as a plant. As I told you before, plants is bound to only one company code. What happens with storage locations? A storage location by its term denotes it's a place where materials are kept. A bit more about the organizational structure, especially about purchasing organization and purchasing group. Purchasing organization is nothing but a place where all the procurement activities with the vendors are handled by the purchasing department. Purchasing organization is responsible for the negotiations that are carried out with the vendors for one or more plants. Coming to the purchasing group. Purchasing groups, as said before, are not assigned to any purchasing organization. They're defined at the client level and can create purchasing documents for any purchasing organization. Hope you have enjoyed this session. In the coming sessions, we'll be diving deep on these concepts, and I'm responsible for making you very clear with these topics, especially with organizational structures. How do we create them and assign them in the SAP systems?